Is the issue, do you think, more about a desire for sex or coupling?
Do you mean in terms of why people aren't having it?
Yeah.
It's probably both. I think at the core, everybody wants to find someone. Many people may say that they've given up and they're happy on their own, but I do think that's what most people deep down want. And sex is, the thing with sex though, I think porn is a big part of this issue in terms of why people are turning away from actual sexual activity. They're getting their needs met through this proxy that simulates real sexual activity, because when you're watching porn, the same network of brain regions is activated as when you're actually having sex. So you're having the resulting orgasm and you are, getting these feel-good chemicals. It helps to self-soothe and regulate your emotions, help calm down if you're stressed out. And so it makes men, I think in particular, less likely to want to go out and go through the hassle of having to talk to a woman, having to sit through a date, having to pay for the date, having to follow up and all this stuff. Like, why bother do that if you can get sexual gratification on a screen? But I think also that leads to potentially like an overall sense of lethargy, because when you are masturbating and having orgasm, you are, you're gonna be sleepy after. So is that also, you can tell me, do you think this is a trend, not for you, but just a trend more generally with young men?
Try again.
In terms of, does this affect their motivation? Because I'm wondering for guys, this question of why men are falling behind in society, right? And I'm very concerned for young men, because I hear all the time from parents that their daughters are doing really well, excelling academically, but their sons, just for whatever reason, they're not enjoying it. They're having mental health issues.
They're just staying at home and fapping all the time.
Yeah, well, maybe not fapping, but they're like, vaping and playing video games or online betting or whatever, and they have no motivation. Do you think porn could be part of that? Because I think if you're exposed to this at such a young age, and this is the thing that you're watching every day, and it's your coping strategy, that potentially that's the thing you're going to constantly gravitate toward, and it's actually going to, make you really sedated and lethargic more broadly in life.
Yeah, I think sedated is a great word. I've got another idea that Scott probably can't wait to fucking misquote. The male sedation hypothesis, young male syndrome, which I know that you know about. Historically, high volumes of young sexless men tended to cause anarchy and revolutions and push over granny and set stuff on fire. Why is it, given that we've seen the highest rates of sexlessness amongst young men in the modern world, that we're not seeing the concordant amounts of antisocial behavior? And it's my belief that men are being sedated out of their status-seeking and reproductive-seeking behavior through screens, video games, porn. And yeah, that's what's happening behaviorally. Maybe there's some endocrine disruptors, maybe a lot of weed. I think more young guys smoke weed than drink alcohol now. So yeah, it is a real push toward lethargy. Do I think that you're anesthetizing yourself from your sort of mate-seeking behavior by being able to use porn? Almost certainly, to a degree. I mean, there's even the opposite, which is, what was it? Masturbate before you evaluate was a tagline at university, which was, do I really want to sleep with that girl? Let me have a wank first and work out if I still do. And for the most part, the guys were like, no, wasn't that? I like, what was it? I didn't like you, I was just horny. And in some ways, you go, that avoids me from making a mistake. But when you do it en masse and when it's very easily available, I mean, look, there's some mixed bag data. Dr. David Ley is very anti-porn panic. I know Mike Israetel's very anti-porn panic too. And then on the other side, there's some people that behaviorally, it's not recognized as an addiction properly yet, I don't think.
Right.
But it seems impossible to me that one of the strongest drivers for humans being given to them freely, they can essentially push a button, like rub a button for a while, and they get to experience this thing that, I mean, you know what would be fascinating? I would have loved to have seen in hunter-gatherer tribes how much masturbation happened.